My name is Oladipo Omoloja. I work for Metal Industry Limited, a subsidiary of Clean Holdings Limited. The company is located in Ogun State Housing and Industrial Estate, Ota, Ogun State, Nigeria. Metal manufacture ferrous and non-ferrous metal. On the non-ferrous aspect of the metal that we produce are various range of aluminum alloy. Now, the Nigerian aluminum industry. Aluminum is a very slippery white metal. It is one of the most widespread metals on Earth, making up of more than 8% of the hardcore mass. It's also the third most common chemical element on our planet after oxygen and silicon. Like other metals, aluminum occurs naturally as an ore known as bauxite, according to the International Aluminium Institute. In 2019, the global bauxite reserves were estimated at just over 30 billion tons. The aluminum industry can be divided into various segments depending on the mode of classification. In terms of the processing stages, it can be divided broadly into upstream and downstream. Upstream processing of aluminum involves the transformation of bauxite from its natural state to alumina, which is then further processed into aluminum in the form of ingots, billets, or slag. This is known as primary aluminum. In the downstream segment, however, the aluminum ingots are converted to various products through processes such as die casting or extrusion for end users across the various industries. On the other hand, in terms of source of raw materials, the aluminum industry can also be divided broadly into primary and secondary aluminum. As mentioned earlier, primary aluminum is produced from alumina or bauxite. However, secondary aluminum is produced majorly from post-consumer scrap or end-of-life products, such as aluminum frames, cans, engine blocks, and so on. This is known as recycling. Primary aluminum is high grade of aluminum with purity level as high as 99% or above. Its characteristics include good formability, corrosion resistance, high thermal and electrical conductivity, and excellent workability. Still, pure aluminum is a relatively low strength and extremely flexible metal with virtually no structural applications. But when alloyed with other metals, its properties are improved significantly. Aluminum alloys of various grades and specifications are available depending on their intended use. Secondary aluminum usually include alloy elements as a result of raw material from which they were produced. As a rule of thumb, materials are recycled to produce new products with similar properties as the recycled material. Consequently, aluminum ingots produced through recycling already contain properties desired by the user in the downstream segment of the value chain, increasing their demands and value. Production of aluminum has risen steadily in recent years. In 2021, for example, world aluminum production, including primary and secondary aluminum, stood at 93.5 million tons. Of this total, primary aluminum output stood at 7 million tons, which is 71.66%, while secondary aluminum accounted for the rest of 28.34%. Increasing demand, therefore, for aluminum can be linked to its desirable characteristics, making it the metal of choice for various applications, especially requirement energy conservation and lightweight applications. Added to this fact that is easily malleable, aluminum has a high strength to weight ratio when alloyed with other metals. This means it can provide the required strength comparable to steel in some cases. With a lighter weight, we can produce required strength, comparatively, when you look at steel and in some other cases. This makes it suitable for automotive, aerospace, and construction industry, which collectively make up of largest end user sectors. For example, or for instance, about 80% of airframe of an aircraft is made of aluminum, while conventional internal combustion engine, as well as electric vehicles, use aluminum to optimize fuel efficiency. Aluminum also find increasing use in the packaging industry. Yes, in the packaging industry, we find a lot of aluminum being used there. being the material of choice for beverage cans. Other applications include electronics, consumer goods, equipment such as mobile phones, computers, and renewable energy technology. Furthermore, aluminum can be recycled infinitely without losing properties. About 75% of aluminum produced in the world is still in use today. This implies that aluminum will be available for a long period of time, especially for application in renewable energy, technology, electric vehicle, and energy storage. More so, its usefulness for energy transition application has earned it a place among the transition metal according to Wood Mackenzie. Energy transition metals are metals that have desirable features for industrial processes, which at the same time promote carbon emission. If they promote carbon emission reduction as the world transition even from its reliance on fossil fuel to a green energy economy. Secondary aluminum can be produced with 95% less energy that would be required if it were produced from its ore, consequently allow massive reduction in carbon emission. Now let's talk about aluminum production in Nigeria. In Nigeria, aluminum production is mostly from secondary sources, while bauxite reserves are available in some states in the country, according to country Ministry of Mines and Minerals Production. But primary aluminum has been discontinued for over 10 years in this country. The country aluminum consumption of at least 800,000 tons per annum is met chiefly by domestic production of secondary aluminum and supplemented by imports. Domestic production, however, accounts for just 30% of demand, underscoring the huge potential for investment in the industry. In addition to meeting domestic demand, the local aluminum industry serves customers across the world. Some metal industry produce aluminum ingots of different grades and specifications for customers in the global automobile industry. A couple of clients include Toyota, Mitsubishi, and major commodity trading companies with networks spanning from Asia even to Europe. That the Nigerian aluminum industry is capable of meeting global standards and requirements is noteworthy, especially since the metal recycling industry in Nigeria is still relatively in its nascent stages. The aluminum recycling industry in countries such as Japan, USA, and European nations can be traced as far back as the 1960s or earlier in some cases. By comparison, most of the development in metal recycling industry in Nigeria occur within the last 2 decades. The Nigerian aluminum industry thrives on resilience, intelligent, and experienced human capital resource. With a demography of about 200 million people and a median age of 18, production companies are never in short supply of youthful strength and experienced professionals. The education institution and continuous workplace development ensure a skilled and experienced workforce. In addition, bilateral partnership with various governments in executing construction and industrial projects within the country has facilitated knowledge transfer. There's knowledge transfer between industrial countries and Nigeria. This ensures a continuous stream of knowledgeable and competent personnel. The Nigerian aluminum industry also benefits from a burgeoning local scrap market. End-of-life aluminum products are sourced from within and outside the country by collectors and scrap merchants and vendors, if you like, call them vendors, scrap vendors. These merchants sell scrap to production plants like some metal industry, which processes the raw scrap to produce aluminum ingots of various grades, such as ADC12, MOD, LM, and various grades of aluminum, secondary aluminum, and even off grade of ADC12. Recycling companies like some metal industry help meet carbon emission reduction targets, which is critical for sustainability of the planet. Some metal operates multiple state-of-the-art production facilities installed to international standards. The factories, which are independently located across a vast land spread over 90 acres, include lead and copper production plants with installed capacity of 6,400 tons and 7,500 tons per annum, respectively. It also operates one of the country's largest steel rolling mill. Yes, it also operates one of the largest steel rolling mills with a combined installed capacity of about 250,000 metric tons per annum. This factory makes use of scrap metal as raw material for their production processes. thereby resulting in massive reduction in carbon emission while meeting the supply needs of local and international markets. Now let's talk about challenges, because there are some challenges anyway. Like other regions of the world, Nigerian metal recycling industry is not without its challenges. At the onset of COVID-19 pandemic in the year 2020, measures to combat the spread of the virus, such as lockdowns, significantly impaired production. This was reflected in reduced total regional output as captured by data collection agencies. Production has resumed and output is gradually returning to pre-pandemic level as economies and industry recover. Local industry has also has its own concern over the volatility of prices as a result of geopolitical scuffles, political instability, and economic anxiety in regions strongly linked with aluminum value chain and consequent supply disruption. Locally, rising scrap prices, fiscal and economic policies, and illicit activities in the scrap market are also on the radar key of players in the industry. Some metal industry is working with all the stakeholders concerned to see how we can stem this, including relevant government institutions to address these challenges and implement lasting solutions, which will ensure eventually the growth of the sector. Now let's talk about conclusion and even recommendation. The Nigerian aluminum industry has a lot of room for growth, investment, and partnership. Key players have a proven track record of meeting global standards and requirements. The opportunities and benefits are available to investors who are quick to take advantage of it. So you can see the Nigerian aluminum industry is thriving and expanding capacity to meet not only demand, local demand, but also global demand as well. So thank you for listening. You can now ask your questions. Thank you.